Philistines is a play that asks how we should live. It's a really basic and important question. And it offers various examples of how people have tried to address that question. It's a family. It's set during the years just leading up to the Russian Revolution. And they're a middle-class family in a Russian town on the River Volga. The head of the household, he seems to have a very clear view of how to live. He's built his life up from very humble beginnings, brutal childhood, illiteracy, poverty, starvation, violence. And he's worked and he's developed a small business in decorating people's houses, and it's burgeoned, and now he can buy his own house. And he's fantastically proud of his achievements. And the thing that underpins his life is faith. It's faith in God, in the Tsar as someone who was divinely appointed by God, who presides over a system, an orderly system. And he's found a place within that system, and everything makes sense to him. His children have a completely different view, a view that scares the life out of him. But their problem is, with all this education, with all this change, they know they don't want what their father stands for. They reject it, they can't bear it. It's so reactionary and backward and brutal. But at the same time, they have no idea what they want to do. The whole thing is given an extra charge, though, because outside the window, there's a revolution brewing. And if you don't get these questions right, you could be in big trouble. And sometimes that revolution or the beginnings of it brings itself into the room through characters who are starting to participate in political action. They think they found the answer to how they should live their lives. And that then adds an extra charge to the drama. It's a real challenge to be here. It's great to be here to do this, because the people I'm working with are so different, and it's a very interesting cast in the sense that I've got undergraduate students in there. There are alumni from the U of R. There are professional actors, and there's someone from the community. So the age range in the company is from, I think there's an 18-year-old, 17, 18-year-old in the company, all the way up to a woman called Gwen who's in her 80s. She brings something wonderful and extraordinary to the company and to the work. She's a singer, she's a percussionist, she has all that life experience that she brings both to the part but also to the process of rehearsing the show. We've also got in the company a guy called George Grasic, who's playing Vassily. He has something that's quite rare among a lot of British actors, which is a real connection to the earth and to the landscape. He's brought up with horses, he was brought up with I don't know how many acres of pasture for cattle. So he understands what working the land is and what a relationship to the land means, which is very much part of the Russian experience, and it's what a lot of British actors don't get. One of the big challenges for us has been to understand a kind of Russian sensibility. It's so different from the Brits, the polite Brits, and the polite Canadians, actually. I think you guys are even more polite than we are. So in this play, the behavior of the characters is very unlike what happens to us in Britain or what happens to you in this province when you argue with someone. I've noticed that Canadians like to negotiate and debate things. They like to discuss and come to some kind of solution. These characters just don't do that. They can't do that. They fight each other. They're on the front foot all the time. They are in some ways genetically closer to our primate ancestors. So you get these constant flarings up of conflict that look like they could turn very threatening. It gives the play a tremendous drive, and that's been a real challenge for the actors to make a shift from a more reasoned, measured way of feeling and being to something that is more instinctive, something that is about action before thought.